Pokemon Trainers Academy, Episode 25, Buzzer Beater. At the beginning of school, the half-tired students of Professor Skul's class awoke with a jolt. It wasn't the bell that woke them, though. It was the buzzer. "Sorry about that," Skul said. "I was just testing the buzzer. Again." "Okay, I love this baby. It's the best gift a teacher could ask for. And to think in the very next room, Seteze probably got a bunch of origami flowers." The look on Skul's face changed so that it said he meant business. "Let's get something straight here. This buzzer will be for enforcement. Any talking out of term, any unwanted questions, and..." He pressed the buzzer again and made a loud blaring noise. "Understood?" Skul asked. Without waiting for a response, he said, "Good. Now, on to today's lesson. Gender ratios." And with that, Skul began his lesson. He was just getting to the part on all-female Pokemon when Umbreon raised her hand. "Yes," Skul said. "If all Chansey are female, how do they make babies?" Umbreon asked. Skul pressed the buzzer. "I told you, Umbreon," he said. "There are no unwanted questions in my class. But if you really want the answer, here it is." He took a long pause and gazed into Umbreon's eyes. "Egg." Skul had just gotten back to his lecture when Umbreon raised her hand again. Skul sighed. "Yes, Umbreon?" "Why do male and female Nidoran have different Pokédex numbers?" Skul pressed the buzzer again. "Don't ask questions, Umbreon," he said. Later on in the lecture, Wally raised his hand. "Yes, Wally," Skul said through gritted teeth. "I just have a question about gender-specific stone evolutions and how they affect gender ratios," Wally said. "I was reading about Xanadu's the other day because nobody really reads the X section of the library, and I noticed something. It said Curlia's gender ratio is 50-50, which is fine. It also said that Gallade's gender ratio is 100% male because only male Curlia can evolve into Gallade. Then I noticed that Gardevoir's gender ratio is also 50-50. I would expect that Gardevoir's gender ratio would be majority female, since some male Curlia evolve into Gallade. So my question is, what is up with that?" Skul pressed the buzzer a third time. "Shut up! Your question is too complicated. You think I know everything." But Skul began pressing the buzzer repeatedly while yelling, "Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Everyone shut up!" Then he screamed in a loud, piercing voice that would make even the toughest of 9-year-old children run screaming for the door. But nobody ran screaming for the door. Professor Skul might have thrown a pair of scissors if they did. Fast forward to the end of the class that afternoon. Classroom was empty except for Skul and Marlene, the headmistress. "Jack," Marlene asked Skul, "why did you go berserk in front of the children?" "They were asking too many questions," Skul replied. "And what do you have against questions?" "They interrupt my lecture." "Jack," Marlene began. "Here we go again." "You have to let the students ask questions. When they ask questions, it shows that they are learning. They're paying attention and they want to know more." "Yeah, but their questions were annoying." "If you think they're so annoying, then why don't you get a more interesting job?" Marlene asked. "Answering questions is a part of teaching. It amazes me that you've been teaching here for 10 years and still don't understand that. Here's what I'll do. I'm going to put you in the pen for a few days while the buzzer is uninstalled. The students will be split among the other classes. Is that clear?" Professor Skul humphed. "Fine." Marlene nodded and left the room. As she did, she said, "That should sort him out. It's really too bad since the big shipment's coming tomorrow."